Oh, damn, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. What damn, big goddamn big. Alright, hopefully I should be live now. Alright, welcome to Star Enlightenment channel. Hopefully everybody can hear me loud and clear. Loud and clear, loud and clear. Alright, let's go. So not gonna be really long because as you can see we're in Florida and the hurricane is approaching and like that. Really already here, we just not, what I'm saying, getting the full brunt of it, but you feel me, tropical storm winds and whatever, so I'm being on caution right now, but hopefully we'll be straight. I'm not gonna make it long. My phone could go out because of the the heat and then the whatchamacallit, I can't think of the name of it. So it could go out, but that's why I'm gonna make it short. I'm gonna try to get straight to the point. Hope y'all having a great day. You know what I'm saying? Just and the third. So this video gonna be about what is God, right? What is God? A lot of people have a misunderstanding of what God is or what to point to when you're talking about God. Now, first of all, is understanding. First is understanding this, and this is a disclaimer. I'll say this, right? People need to understand when you talk about God that God is not the people that created the term God itself didn't mean it in a way that would help people. They didn't mean it in a way that people could benefit off of it. They use it for their advantage in the sense of manipulating people and controlling the masses as a whole. And this is how you got religion. So anything that's trying to get you to call it God, whether you talk about a spirit or the government or a group of people or whoever the intellectual property of these different things, whoever came up with the term to call something a God, already that's like demonic energy in itself. Because to be a God is something that wants to be ruled and be worshipped. That's not something that wants to be free and light and want people to be free and be their own spiritual, go through their own spiritual paths. You can't really have true individuality with too many God concepts because it's always going to lead for everybody to do what it wants it to do, or the government creating these terms for whatever energy they want people to put their attention to. You see what I'm saying? As a whole, they not wanting people to be actually spiritual and understand their own individuality and what's best for them in their own life so they can make it and what's best for them in their life. They want to make it where everybody just puts themselves in this one particular category or box that is geared towards this one particular being. You see what I'm saying? And even from a higher spiritual point of view, a being that's trying to be called a god, that's just a demonic energy. Because any being, this is why I use reading the book of Enoch when they talk about the fallen angels. A lot of those fallen angels are what is calling um themselves God and want you to worship them as God because it's how you give them energy. Just like a celebrity. A celebrity gets tons of energy every day because people they idolize it, they reverence, they look up to it, they look at it a certain type of way. They give it all its attention and energy, aka paying attention. You're giving your esoteric currency just by doing that, and you're doing it on a high ass level. If you're doing that and you doing this to a so-called quote unquote being that's trying to be called God, right? Now you got that out the way. So basically, anything that's trying to be called a God is already low key like the devilish demonic energy in itself. Because the true overall supreme, which what you guys are trying to point to, or what you guys what actually, you know what I'm saying, what you would understand what the true concept of a God would even be, even though it don't even like to be called that, is would be the overall supreme God. You see what I'm saying? It wouldn't even want to be called God because it knows that the term God is a lower nature in itself. It's a lower word itself. And it's not even able to rise high enough in certain atmospheres just by you clinging on to the word God, because that's created by the group of people that when they went mean God, they didn't even mean it the same way that you think that it means. So you by default giving not only energy to a demon or a demonic energy, but you also hurting your own self because you putting your own self in the box and not allowing yourself to grow. And it's not for the purpose that you really want, that you think is meant to be for. And let me hurry up, right? Hold on, let me just. All right. So another thing, now get into the concept. What is God, right? Because like I said, when you talk about God, what it really is the overall. People say the universe, but really the universe. There's several different verses. But anyway, when people say God, the true God, what is the true God? AKA really called the overall, the supreme, the one above all. What's another word? Like shout out to subconscious community. They call it all possibilities. I understand what that is, but let me read say it again. So you got like overall, right? The overall, supreme, the one above all. Like those are terms that you would consider when you talk about the true space, aka the true God. That's That's the most expanded space, and it is a parameter. It's a space that you gotta understand. There's beings that done passed and got so far. So I'm not gonna say there's not a being that is actually expanded that far, but you gotta understand God is a space that you gotta be in. It's not something that's just paying attention to everybody one by one, catering to everybody's needs. The overall perimeter space, supreme God, whatever you want to call it, universe, whatever, it is in its own existence, and it's a space that you have to tap yourself into. So when you want to be in the presence of God, you got to tap yourself into that space, aka that's getting into a clairvoyance meditative space, because when you don't got no thoughts and feelings on your mind, that's when you really can, that's when you are in the space of God, because that realm that it's in, that 7th and 9th dimension higher, that doesn't deal with thought and feelings. You see what I'm saying? That deals with clarity, and that's where the pure energy come from. You know what I'm saying? When you think about something being pure, you see what I'm saying? It's not tainted, it's not muggy. That's that energy. So you can't just come in the face of God or in God's presence being muggy. You know what I'm saying? And think that you're gonna understand or receive some type of energy from that. But anyway, you got that out the way. And then so that's pretty much it, understanding that concept right there. But it goes deeper than what people try to tell you. A lot of these energies that these energies that you're giving to, that you're calling them God, that they want to be called God, those are lower energies that is no right or wrong or anything. This is how they get their esoteric currency in the spiritual realm. But at the same time, you got to be aware of what's beneficial for you. A lot of these spirits, there's always room that you can grow in these things, but a lot of these spirits do not create these things for you to grow. They're for you to be locked in bondage and in a box, so you can't expand from that. You see what I'm saying? So you don't end up actually growing and expanding the way that you could. You see what I'm saying? In a positive way that'll benefit you. You see what I'm saying? In the growth of your spirit and journey. It's to hold you back and keep you on more density and stuff like that while it's trying to ascend and rise. But that's another video. But you need to understand that too. That's a whole part of this. Um, but yeah, any true space, I mean, wouldn't even want you to call it, wouldn't even want you to call it God, because it wants you to be just like it. It wants you to be in a situation where you can be free and you can reach your highest expression. You can reach your highest chakra, your most, you see what I'm saying, your most broadest, expanded, highest state of being, that you can find the most bliss. See what I'm saying? There's realms that you think bliss in certain feelings here are the best feelings, like being happy, being joy. You know what I'm saying? Happiness itself, that's not even really a high energy like you think. That's only a high energy in this space because, man, listen up, bro. Listen up, bro. I'm gonna do a video on this sometime in the future, but you gotta understand this. The happy energy signature not even really a high space, really. That's only a high space in this realm of reality. The only reason why this space is so high, why happy is so high in this space, is because of the lights that we up under. And I talked about the different color spectrum, but that's another video too. But you got need to understand this: happiness can't be the most highest space, right? Which we should know, because happiness don't last. It's impossible for you to be happy with something 24/7. This is why they always say, whenever you get something, you gonna always want something new. I don't care if you get the finest shawty that you wanted for years. And if you ain't had it for a while, you'll be satisfied when you get it for a minute. You'll be satisfied for a minute, but eventually that years go on. Her gonna be feeling good. You gonna be having fun being around her. Y'all gonna enjoy your time. But eventually, if you don't know how to balance that and accumulate new things into y'all's relationship, that'll start to get old too, and you'll get used to that old punani. So I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. There's ways to bounce off of that too. That's why they say when you're in a relationship, you gotta add in the element of newness to keep the relationship going. But that's a different story too. But you need to understand that happiness don't even really last. Don't let nobody lie to you. Happiness don't really last. You can get a new car right now and let 10 years go by. I bet you try to tweak and enhance that car in some shape or form, or I bet you get tired of that car. Or even if you still enjoying that car, you'd be like, oh, you get used to it, so you're not as giddy and excited as you was before. That's my whole point. I'm just saying happiness don't last. Like when you be real lit because you got this certain present or it's your birthday, that lasts. Then that eventually fade away. Even if every day was your birthday, eventually you get used to it. You wouldn't be as excited as you was before. So I'm not saying you might not like these things or appreciate certain things. That's up to the individual person. But that initial energy of excitement and happiness is gonna eventually wear off once you get used to something. So that's why I say happiness is not the highest energy center. It's up there a little bit. It's a certain ways. It's higher than these negative vibrations and most of the feelings that we feel on a daily in general, like boredom and feeling low and sadness. Of course, of course, of course. But I'm just saying that's not necessarily the highest energy. People think the best thing is be happy. Happiness don't really exist. I want to say like that, because happy is like a fire. It's here and there. It don't last forever. Like you see how these trees, that's earth element. That's something that's stable. That's practical. That's grounded. That won't change unless something gets completely destroyed and knocked out of this realm of reality, the physical realm of reality that it's in the first place, for it to be there. But when you talk about the energy center of happiness, happiness ain't really like earth element. That's more like a fire element, aka it be there, it can be powerful, then it fade away. You see what I'm saying? It don't matter what kind of fire you come up with now. All fires eventually fade away. You can talk about a regular fire that you light a candle or you throw in the and make in the pan, a pit when you trying to fire barbecue. You can have a fire like that. Eventually, that's gonna wear off. That's not gonna be here no more. You could take electricity. That's a form of fire. You and or a light bulb is there. Cool. Eventually, that's not gonna be there for no. You see what I'm saying? You can have plasma. Plasma exists. The sparks, all that. There. Eventually, fire just don't be lasting in one place for long. It's everywhere. It's chaotic. It's here, it's comes. Here it comes. It may come powerfully. Somebody come and give you 5 million right now. You're gonna be happy as hell. You're gonna be happy as you probably ever in your life. Eventually, you're gonna get used to that $5 million. As much as that sounds, whatever you think, it no matter how you feel. Eventually, you're gonna get used to that $5 million. Especially if you know how to make your money right. You're gonna eventually get used. Now, if you can build it, you're gonna be satisfied. Now that's different. You can be satisfied, but eventually you gonna get used to that 5 million, and it's not gonna affect you. Sorry, I'm sorry. The exact same way that it used to affect you. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you gotta understand when you talk about energy center of happiness. But there's energy signatures. And I know I took my time, I ranted about that, but the reason was because there's energy centers that happiness is just highest in this space, this earth, this solar system, this little realm that we in, this third dimensional realm. But once you go up out of that and you travel further, whether you would say other solar systems, other spaces, other realms of realities, I mean definitely higher realms or outer realms, you're gonna realize that there are realms where happiness is not even one of the highest ones. Y'all think that joy is the highest one. Even the ones that are kind of high in the spectrum, right? Let's say like bliss. What was another one? It's bliss, peace. Cause peace is high. Peace is high. Bliss is a little bit higher than peace, I believe, but I'm not gonna put them in order. But they up there, right? But do y'all think that even in this space right here, y'all think that the highest space is to maybe to feel bliss or be in constant bliss, and that's cool. But there's worlds where there's energies beyond bliss. There's energies that are beyond bliss. Y'all think having an orgasm is high, and now that is different because orgasm is kind of here and there. It's of this world, but it's also not at the same time. Because for you to even birth a spirit that might not even be from this world and put it out in this world, that's like a portal. So that's like strong organ energy. So the orgasm energy is in and out too. It's still here, but that's extremely high one. But that's like fire too, kind of like the yellow energy because it's here and there. Now there's ways you can tap into it for it to be long lasting. Like you jump into tantra, you jump into what they say, multi orgasmic sex. Different types of orgasms that allows a man, especially women naturally have multiple orgasms and they can ride those waves, but there's different. The man usually have one big, huge, intense explosion that feel good as hell, but then it be done. They might have to recover for a day or two. But there's certain ways in tantra and stuff like that where you can have sex a certain type of way where you have or you don't focus on just the main genital spurts of orgasm regularly. You focus on like having longer, more extended orgasms. They call them like valley orgasms. Like it's like a sense of edging, but it's a valley orgasm because that orgasm is more extended. Like I'm just giving different ways of these energies, but orgasm is a real high one too. That's a very high one, and that kind of actually reaches out of this space because that's beyond just this space. So I give you that one. That is a very high one because that's a lot of creation anyway. That's how a lot of creation stuff got birthed in the first place. So I'll give you that one. That is a high one. But I will say this for that energy. That is a high one here. I'll give you that. But at the same time, the only downfall is this is one thing. We don't have the fullest access to the orgasm energy like we think we do because a lot of times your basic orgasm is just here and there. Like when you having a baby or you know what I'm saying, or even if y'all not in y'all are in the condom, you might in the condom, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get too graphic. Or even if you don't got a condom, your pull out game strong, but once that nut over, you done. So that's like a what? For a man that's like what 5-10 seconds worth. And you pretty much done. You either recovering, if you recover fast, you might be back in the next hour or so. Cool. You might be able to take a couple rounds. Cool. But it just don't last forever. You feeling that and you done. You gotta work your way back up, then feel it and you done. You see what I'm saying? It's not lasting. So it's still kind of like from the fire energy. And in this realm, we don't have as much contact to it as much as we would want. We don't have that much grasp on it like that here because it comes and goes. Kind of like the happy energy. It's just a little. That's just much higher energy. Um, And even when you do talk about tantra and our ability to draw those orgasms out so we can have more sustainable, long-lasting orgasms, that is very true. People who have done it for 30 minutes, an hour, worked on tantra, they be in orgasmic bliss for an hour or two. That is true, but guess what? That's very accessible, right? But at the same time, guess what you got to do to achieve that? You got to train. We don't have the ability in these human vessels here, in these third dimensional human vessels on planet Earth right now. We don't have the ability to, if we have sex with either ourselves or with a partner or whatever, we can just, once we get to the point where we feel that climax coming, we could just cut off the cut off the ability to actually spread out fluid or ejaculate and just have let the orgasm happen by itself. Because here's the thing, even science will tell you, okay, orgasm and ejaculation or orgasm and the fluid coming out is two separate different things, and they can be dissected. You can orgasm without ejaculating, and you can train yourself too. But guess what you gotta do? You got to train yourself too. So it's not as easily accessible in these bodies. We have to work and train these bodies to achieve that. So it's still a high energy. You still can achieve it. It's a good thing we can achieve it here. That's a plus. That's real. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, you have to work up and build to that energy. Where there's certain bodies that you, especially the higher, certain higher ones too. I'm gonna be honest with you, certain outer vessels, especially that be in certain realms of realities that I'm not gonna touch on. I'm just giving an example about them. They have certain bodies where ego, the sexual energy is way deep. Because remember, I told you everything we say higher and lower is really just more expanded and more contracted. So the more higher a particular bit vessel or realm is, that's really the more expanded and the more bigger a vessel you can take. So the more of a vessel, the more to it. AKA you have more, like you a human, you bigger than an ant, right? You have way more capabilities to do as an ant. You have way much perception. You have way much more perception, understanding, more mental abilities that they may not necessarily have because their brain size not even that strong, or if they even have a brain. You see what I'm saying? You gotta understand that. So it go deep when you talk about higher levels, and when you in higher, less dense levels that don't deal with the same bull crap that they might deal on this low level for whatever reason, you in a certain realm of reality that don't deal with that, and you reaching the center high enough, and you don't have as much negative emotions holding you down, and you're not attached to nothing here. There's certain realms out there that's very high realms that the sex goes so deep, you can even have sex with yourself. Like the whole idea of being hermaphrodite or how do you say that? Hermaphroditic, whatever that word is. I'm probably not saying it right. You know what I'm saying though. When you have both organs, that's a real thing. What's what I mean? We in the third dimension. That energy is only played out on a small level, as in everybody has testosterone and estrogen. But we are still man and female, when you want to believe it or not. It's just here's a smaller vessel, so we not in a big enough vessel or a high enough vessel, as you want to say, that we can accumulate and have literally both organs. And everybody's hermaphrodites. You have both genders. So the same way you think you have masculine and testosterone here, testosterone and masculine energies and feminine energies, you literally have those energies in here. And we play out those traits a little bit here. Even like when if a man take too much estrogen, he'll start turning to a female, start developing breasts, boobs, his start getting smaller. You see what I'm saying? The aesthesia start to shrink. Um, the buttocks might get larger, fat may get stored more so in the hips. Your face starts getting softer, lips start getting. I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just saying that's letting you know. Deep for us to eat, for a man to even be able to change like that, lets you know that we already have these energies within us. But I'm saying on a higher level, everything is more literal. It's you're in a bigger vessel, so you can handle more. It's more to everything. So the way you have capabilities here, you can do things. You can, you know what I'm saying. You can bring it, do this, use this to build that, and build that for other things. You can do that on a mass level up there. And you might come in a realm. You probably be in a realm of reality so high they don't even have hands. This is from the certain constellation, the solar system being we in. That's why we got fingers and we got like I even hate to say it, but like we got fingers, like we got toes, we got certain body parts that's even long like this. Like there's certain the Bible talk about certain beings like cherubims and seraphims. There's certain beings that don't even deal with these type of bodies at all, and there's multiple hundreds of bodies that don't even deal with this. Think about how much bodies that's just here. Think about an ant, and an ant different body different than a roach, and a roach body different than a lizard, and a lizard body different than a centipede, and a centipede body different than a spider, and a bird body different than a snake. And a snake body different than the dog. You see what I'm saying? And a flamingo body different than that. And the elephant body way different. So I'm not trying to keep going on, but I'm giving examples of there's multiple hundreds of different bodies just here. You think that on the broader world out there with all these different worlds and realms that don't play out on a broad level? So that's why I be saying don't get so attached to this, because whatever you think this so lit, oh but no but the women fine here, they got nice bodies, and we deal with a lot of voluptuous bodies here, and all this, and the women they beautiful. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it's just an experience. You think stuff is lit here. You don't know how things can be in that realm. You might have some realms that may seem less. You might have some realms, but really, the more expanded you go, the more that it's gonna be. The more so it's gonna be like more of whatever you in. So, it's gonna the women and men that live in that realm are gonna be even more than a man than you see now, more of a woman than you see now, because the energies are amplified. That's like when you look at a bird, you with your perception to you, you know as a human who a male, who a female, right? When you looking at a bird, you got to look at their organs to even know if they're male or female. There's nothing that really stands out. There's no certain curvaceousness all the times. It just comes down to the little things. See what I'm saying? So the smaller the life form, the more dull it is. But the broader you get, the more things get in depth. This is where you get the concept of higher dimensional because it's more perception. You see what I'm saying? It's more perception to what you're looking at. So you think that, you say like feminine bodies are beautiful here, but you just don't know. You might go to a higher realm and you might be this times 10. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be funny, but like jiggles and all that stuff, it might be that times 10 because it's more to it. It's more of a woman there. You're broader and more expanded now. So you're taking on more energy of everything. So if you're a man, you're gonna be even looking more like a man, more like a square, more structure, you know? Talk about centaur like. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna be more masculine. If you're feminine, you're gonna be more female, more feminine, more of that type of energy, more roundness, more curve. That's all I'm trying to say. But I ain't trying to get into specifics because there's multiple different types of bodies, but energies always play out similarly sometimes. Um, for the most part, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, yeah, you just gotta understand that, and that's how energy works. That's how energies go. You see what I'm saying? That's how energy work, and that's how energy goes. And I forgot what my last starting point was. I'll probably come back to it, but because I was talking about energy. Yeah, basically, yeah, I was talking about spaces. I was saying, yeah, there's certain worlds out there where, because I was talking about sexual energy, I came back to it. Yeah, so my whole point was with the whole sexual energy thing. You might go to a whole realm where that orgasmic energy that can only really be played out like for a split second here, 5 second nut, 10 second nut, and you gotta train to be able to have long lasting orgasms through tantra and different practices. You'll get to a certain realm when you ascend high enough that not only you'll be in a hermaphrodite body or a hermaphroditic body, whatever you want to call it, where you have both organs. You'll literally be a man and female. But see, you can't see. See, people think hard like, what? That don't make sense. But you gotta think about it. Just think about it though. You ain't gonna be able to perceive it the exact same way because you're not in that world. Now, what I just told you, oh, that's a higher world. That's a higher world with more, a higher dimension with more perception. More dimension mean more perception. A lot of people, I was just reading the other day, once you start getting into 5 dimensional and up, the human body, we're in the third dimension. We have a hard time comprehending that. The highest we comprehend is like fourth and a little bit of fifth, and barely even that. We can't really perceive the full totality of fifth yet, but we do get a very good gist of it. Um, but anything above that and above, we have a hard time perceiving. So you're not gonna understand every single thing. You see what I'm saying? But you can understand things on a lower level. You know what I'm saying? And how things work and how to understand how things correlate. But other than that, you just gotta understand that. And if you're in a realm where you got both genders, there's those realms you can actually like have sex with yourself and build life within yourself. But it's not looked at like in a native way it is here. It'll be in a way of like it'll be normal, like y'all got like it'll be normal, like it's not like it's looked here like, oh, what y'all doing, you doing this, oh, that's crazy. No, like you'll literally have the body that you can do that. Not like some, oh, I was born a male so I'm gonna try to be transgender, or no, like you'll naturally have both sexes. You'll naturally be man and female because that's the realm of wholeness. You're getting higher and higher. You're trying to get closer to the source, to what you call God, right? The overall, the true supreme. That don't deal with duality like that. You bring a mind of duality to that world, it's that world you're gonna get incinerated because you can't handle that type of light. You can't handle that type of heat. You see what I'm saying? You can't handle that type of energy being transmitted on that high of a frequency because it's not dealing with lower natures like duality and picking sides of this side, this side. No, you got to see the whole circumstance. This is why they call it holy. Holy or being whole. You see what I'm saying? Becoming true to yourself. And you can never be fully whole unless you balance your masculine and feminine energies. And you got to start that out by now. Now that don't mean that don't mean you. I'm not trying to be explicit. I'm not gonna try to be explicit, but that don't mean you go out and you a man. You go get pumped in the butt. Oh yeah, I'm a feminine. If that's what you like, that's what you like. That may be your path here. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying from an energetic point of view where these things get manifested out in the first place. Before a woman got birth as a woman, she was already resonating on a certain frequency of her emotions and feelings. AKA, that's why it's tied to the yin, the right brain, the emotions and feelings, the vibration. We all have access to these things. The man, when they was born in the male body, for you to be a actual male and not be a woman, that means you had to be more so into your either your fires, aka like the more so like the visions, the intellect. The higher chakras like the visions, the intellect, you making sense out of something. That brainwave, that's like a left brainwave. And then that manifests as you resonating with a particular, you know what I'm saying, energy signal more so, and you get birthed as that. Because that's the now we all these things. There's different bodies you may take. One day you might die from this body, and whenever state of being you die, then you might resonate more so with the vibrations and the emotions and feelings. You might come into a woman body. You know, you might resonate again with the intellect, the thoughts, the making sense out of my situation, practical building. So you might come back as a man, and this is why men don't have as much emotions and feelings until they start tampering with our hormones and stuff, or a man don't take care of his, so he end up being chaotic. But that's a different story, because if that's the case, he's not balancing his own masculine and feminine. But back to what I was saying, you got to learn to balance these things from an internal point of view. The more you can balance your emotions and feelings, aka your vibrations, your state of being, and how you feel, the more you can balance your thoughts, how you think, analyzing things correctly, your thinking abilities, your ability to create, or your ability to spark ideas, your ability to make sense out of something, and using the mind better, then you'll be in a situation where you'll balance that masculine, and you can combine these things and become whole and not be biased, aka not lean too far towards your masculine, aka your mind and your thoughts and all that stuff, like in the structuring. When you don't lean too far to your right, your emotions, your feminine, your emotions and feelings, your vibration, your state of being, you don't come too chaotic, but you can blend both and have a balance. Now you're a whole. Now you are the true, complete divine masculine and divine feminine, because you have the divine masculine and divine feminine in you, because you are a piece of these things. But you have to structure yourself well where you can blend and balance these things, so you can be ascended enough to reach a higher vessel. Because once you get fifth dimensional beings and above, you gonna start taking the body of both. You're no longer gonna look at yourself. That's why I say it's higher dimensional. So you're not gonna understand it, but just roll with me though. You're not gonna understand exactly how I look, because that's a higher dimension. Like I said, more perception. Everything we see now is 3D. This is 3D. This is three dimensional. Four dimensional would be this, and you probably could see through it, and it might have more perception. Like when you look at like three dimension, right, 360. Then you take that video up a notch, take it to like, what is it, 520? I might be missing something. You got 480, 520. The more you keep going up, you're going up in dimension, so that's more perception. So things gonna be more crystal clear. It's gonna be more in depth. You see what I'm saying? So that's a hell of a world. But getting back on point, right? Understand that, and not gonna look at yourself as just, oh, I'm a man right now. My name's John. I'm a man. Or my name's Sarah. I'm a woman. You're gonna look at yourself as the true totality of your being. You are now both. You are not. You're no longer inhabiting just your masculine or just your feminine like you was here in the third dimension. Just like now, like I'm a dude, but I got emotional feelings. Just the fact that you got the ability to cry and emotionalize, that's the female within you, aka the feminine energy within you. This is why Baphomet represent, you talk about Saturn, right? And Satan, Saturn, Baphomet is the same energy. This is why it always see Saturn as like it's always like a hermaphrodite. It's got breast and it's got, you see what I'm saying, the male part. It's like both. And that's a fifth dimensional energy it's trying to show you it's fifth dimensional. So it's actually more whole. So what you're looking at as negative is actually more whole. Things get taken out of conscious. You need to understand that. It ain't gonna be long, but you need to understand it and understand that that's that energy signature that you can learn from. Because when we talk about the Kundalini and all that stuff like that, that's balancing both your energies and stuff like that. That's balancing. You gotta understand that it's lit, bro. You gotta learn more about these things, because they try to teach like the Kundalini just go one way, but really it's like two and they cross each other. That's the thought. That's the thought. That's the mind. That's the emotions and feelings. Right brain, left brain. Right brain, emotions and feelings. Your ability, excuse me, I'm sorry, your ability to go within and emotionalize. Left brain, your ability to think and analyze the situation and use your. That's why they call it mentalities. Mentality. Men. This is why they say men build structures. Men build the world, and then women cater the world. They nurture that. They make it look. But you see what I'm saying? But that's another video too. But hope you understand where I'm coming from. I'm not gonna make this video too long because we're going on 30 minutes. But yeah, you're gonna reach a certain realm of reality once you get to a certain point that you're gonna see both sides of yourself, and it's no longer gonna be just one you being a man or you being a woman. It's like you're gonna be the full totality of yourself, so you'll be both genders, and you can procreate with yourself and create seeds within yourself. The higher you get, the less you need, let more things. Like when you a lower being, you need more things. You need this, you need that. But the more higher you get, you can do more things by yourself. You see what I'm saying? You don't need as much as the external world as much. You know what I'm saying? because you have more access. Like I just said here, you have more access to bugs now in certain animals. You gonna have more access up there than you do here. More access, you can do more things. You know what I'm saying? That's how I be, bro. It get lit like that, but everything has a positive and a negative because that's life. You build and grow through different situations, but understand there's gonna be more is more to it. So back to what I was saying with the sexual before I leave, right? But with the sexual energy, so up there it'll play out on a higher level. So since this is you in a higher realm, a higher dimension, aka it's more expanded, more depth, more dimension to it, more perception, more ability to piece out things. There's more to it. Is more of whatever you was just looking at. So when you talk about sexuality in that way, that'll be like orgasmic energy. You might be able to. You probably inhabit a certain vessel where you can turn the switch on and off whenever it's time for you to orgasm, whether you orgasm with another being in that realm or you, because you have the ability to do it within yourself. Either way, you'll be in a situation where you might be able to turn the tap off, aka you can literally orgasm within yourself or orgasm out into the open, whatever, and be able to control that fluid not releasing from that organ, or control you not basically ejaculating or climaxing, but you can still have that same orgasm. It would be like non-ejaculatory or they would call it dry, but you're controlling, so you can keep that essence within inside of you to procreate something. That's a different video too, because I made videos about tantra sex and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna get too deep into graphic and stuff. But you know what I'm saying? You'll have more control of your sexual energies up there, because you'll be in a vessel that's big enough to handle it. And you really, because as much as people be like, oh, sexual energy, man, you can only experience so much of it. You actually only can handle so much of it too. You know, we may have bodies that's wired that limit us and stuff like that. Don't get it twisted. Some people can handle more than others. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some people can't handle as much. Some people can handle a bit more. But at the end of the day, we still in a vessel that although it hinder us, we still can only handle so much of sexual energy. It's too powerful of a force. That's an extremely powerful force. A lot of people can't really handle that force. The best people can do is train themselves to control their own urges and disciplines and stuff like that. But in the act, man, you got to have some strong ass discipline to just deal with that. So once you get to that level of mastery with your sexual energy, you got it. You lit. You know what I'm saying? You up and ready to go. You got that down pat. But other than that, that's pretty much it. But and yeah, like I said, in that realm, you can not only procreate with yourself, you can most likely turn off the switch in the sense of you can literally orgasm without ejaculating in that realm or without releasing fluid, most likely at will, especially the higher you go. And it don't even be like it do be here, like, oh, I have to train this. Certain bodies you go into, you'll probably be able to do that on will, on impact. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, depending on what body you do, the higher you go, the more abilities. But aka the more expanded you get, the more depth of perception, and that's the cool part of it. And even though it be seeming less dense, it's still more. It's only less dense to us. But and when you in that realm born, it don't play out as less dense. You see what I'm saying? It don't play out less dense at all. You just gonna have more capabilities, and things may play out sometimes more chaotic because since things are less dense, it'll be like, oh, I could do this here and there. I could be here and there. It's more capabilities, but it ain't gonna play out as the same way it play out. The same. It's only less dense to you because you in a dense ass room. If you wasn't in a dense ass room, you wouldn't look at it as that less dense. Cause you would be normalized being in that world. That would be the norm. You wouldn't be nothing. It wouldn't be nothing new to you. It would already be the norm, and it would be a situation where this is all you know at the moment. So you living in that world. This is normal to you. So anything else wouldn't be normal to you. You see what I'm saying? And that's how I really much know. Enough of that. But pretty much when you talk about sexual energy, not only can you procreate inside yourself, turn and tap off the switch and have non-ejaculatory orgasm um, at will. And if you want to release for a reason to create, then you can that too. But you gotta understand, that's a different world. And there's a lot of other capabilities too from a sexual point of view as far as organs. And you can experience much more of that orgasmic energy up there, a lot more and a little bit longer than you can here, because that realm is more broader itself. But there's certain realms, and then once you get to real, like real high ass, high, heavenly as realm, that it probably took a while to get there because you got to go through a lot of experiences, and then you got to be on a certain spiritual path that you built a certain level of enlightenment, aka inner lights, and become your own source. That might take y'all a minute. That might take minute, because there's a lot of stars that's been. I ain't gonna get into that. I ain't gonna get into that because I'll see that for another video. But basically, once you get to those realms, that's like the real realm of God. Once you get into those realms and you working your way up in that realm, things only become vague because it's vague to us now. But that's really the realm of brightness. If you really want to be honest, but those realms, it'll be like you'll be big enough to be in a vessel where you can be in the orgasmic state in general. Like you can be literally in the orgasm state. I'm trying to tell you, like it go deep. You'll be so high on the totem pole that you'll be big enough, and you know the higher you get, the broader you get. So the chakras that you create there are be so broad and big that you can handle the orgasm energy now. It ain't like now where it's just like you pew 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 pew. You can literally handle being in a whole cloud of orgasm energy, and that could be your existence to the point where being in the orgasm energy won't even be something that is a big deal in a sense of it'll be normal because the vessel that you in will be so broad and can handle so much that it'll be another energy above just the normal orgasmic energy that y'all be pointing to as that's what's an orgasm to us. That energy would be like an orgasm to them because the orgasm to them energy in those heavenly worlds, they might be in the state of orgasm almost all the time or more throughout their percentage of their existences in those realms. And that don't be nothing to them though because they so broad and so big. The vessels that they took, they ascended so high, they chakra so big, they ascended so high on a dimensional scale that they're big enough to take it. They expand their spirits enough, aka ascended their spirits enough that they can take a big old vessel where the orgasmic energy that we think is so powerful and only lasts 5, 10 minutes, seconds here, they'll be able to literally live for the majority of their existence there in that orgasmic energy, and it don't even be as a big of a deal as it is now because they'll be in vessels where they can handle it and it don't be seen as overwhelming to them. But they're so broad, they can overtake that energy, and that energy don't seem like nothing. And there's another energy that's above that that they're pointing to as the orgasm the same, but we pointed to that regular orgasm. Like that's so intense to us, and we that's the best thing you can feel here, which it is. There's a realm in up there that's high enough that there's an energy higher than orgasm to them that they're pointing to as, oh, this is lit, this is something, and then they do that in poly moderation, and they can then the higher they go, they can train that to do that for longer periods of time, and then the higher they go, there's realms where you get birth in the body where you naturally can cut that far. Like I'm telling you, the existences get lit. That's why I be telling people, bro, don't be really be getting lost like that. You don't gotta go extreme on no pole. You don't gotta go extreme with just spirituality. You don't gotta go extreme with just earthly things. I say find the balance, just live life. The biggest thing in spirituality to get twisted is two things. One, spirituality is naturally your individuality. So any way a person like to do things, that's their spirituality. AKA learn yourself. You gotta learn yourself. But then two is just like another big part of that's the internal spirituality. The second part is the external part of spirituality. I like to say is just experience. People don't understand experience. Your ability to expand, that's Sagittarius energy. Your ability to expand and try new different things. Get into many different activities. Try this, taste this, do that. Hear this, listen to that. Jump into different careers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you do what you want to do in your life, but I'm just saying, even if it's not even careers, just anything. Just try to the more you expand in your life, the bigger your spirit becomes, the more you will ascend, the more you'll be big enough to take a higher vessel. That's what it means to be higher. Something higher is bigger, something higher is broader. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, hope y'all understand where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? That's why y'all look at God as big, because God is y'all don't look at God as small, something below y'all. Y'all look at God as something above, something that's over y'all. For me to stand over somebody, I gotta be bigger than them from a physical point of view. If I'm over you, if I'm looking down on you, literally, and I'm over you, that means I'm broader than you at the moment. I'm bigger than you at the moment. That don't make me better, but that means I'm more broader. I have more accessibility, so it can play out seeming like that. You know what I'm saying? But I hope from when I talk about sexual energies, I hope y'all understand that's deep, bro. I really wish more people was on here to hear what I got to say, because like that's a deep thing that a lot of people don't understand. People can call it what they want, lostness and flawness, but for me to have for anything for you to have the ability to think about means that it exists in some shape or form, or it's possible in some shape or form, because you thinking in general is the realm of imagination, is the realm of thought, is the realm of emotions and feeling, and that's the spiritual realm itself. That's what you go when you go to your dreams and stuff, but you only perceive it on certain different magnitudes because you still attached to this body, but you in that realm. So that is the dream realm, the astral realm, the spirit realm, whatnot, the yin realm, all the same thing, right? And there's many different levels and dimensions within it, and different realms of realities in it. Absolutely, different worlds in it, different perspective and spaces in it, all kind of stuff, bro. You gotta understand that. So things go deep. You know what I'm saying? Things go deep, and for you to have the ability to even think of something means that it exists somewhere else. So if you I don't care how stupid it may seem, it may not look the exact same way you put in your head, but for that concept, that thought, that idea, in your mentality, for you to have that and perceive that lets you know that it exists because you're getting that from somewhere. It may not be in this physical 3D realm, but you're getting that concept in some realm, in your internal realm. That is the getting realm, the spirit realm. That's why when you get emotions and feelings, you feel that internally. That's a part of the spirit realm. But I'm not trying to go too far with you, but we're almost 40 minutes in. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out, but that's how things work. So if you can perceive it, if you can perceive a one-eyed being with feathers that look like a dragon in some shape or form, you see what I'm saying? That's powerful and it's got beams in his eye that you know what I'm saying? That exists in some shape or form. It may not look the same way that you imagine it in your head, but that concept in some realm of reality exists. No matter who think how stupid a person think it is, in some realm of reality it exists. We can talk down on the all we want, but that's how it play out. You see what I'm saying? Um, now, yeah, as far as it goes. Now, what may work for me may not work for you, but the fact that it worked for you still mean it existed. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm trying to say? But that's on a broader level. But anyway, I know it sounds like a rambling, but hope y'all understand what I was saying. Real deep knowledge today. Came with a long video. I actually didn't expect it to be this long. I wish more people was in, but I hope people replay the video and see the video because this is a deep one. This is an important one. A lot of people don't know what God is or what the concept of God really is, and they get lost and they get ready to go to what they like to call um, 1,000 worth of years or 5,000 worth of years of regress, aka doing the same thing, not learning and expanding from their previous lifetimes, so they can expand up out of them and learn more. It's not about what you're doing is wrong; it's how you're doing it. You limiting yourself by being lost and not your. See, here's the thing: I'm never gonna tell nobody that you're wrong for whatever you do, ever. You do what the hell you want to do in general. Even if you did want to get lost, I'm not even saying that, but I'm saying it's not what you do; it's how you do it. You gotta understand that there's different levels to these things, and it's broader than just our perception. So once you understand that you can be in the church, you can be in the Hinduism, you can be a Muslim, but you can still expand. If you got a God, a deity that's making you feel like you don't need to expand at all, that's the being that's trying to keep you low so it can sit on its high horse while you give it all your energy and your attention, aka you paying attention. That's esoteric currency. Ain't that being that you worshiping in the spirit realm? You giving it your esoteric currency, but yet it don't want you to expand out of it. I can tell if it said, look, you do what the hell you want to do. I just want you to go by these laws, and you still need to mainly do mine out of most of your days. So you need to do mine out of more out of your percentage over anything else. But y'all can still expand. It's not saying that. It's saying they want you to do it this way, this exact same way. It don't want you to expand, and then y'all wonder why y'all go through certain situations they all out. But that's beyond the point. That's beyond the situation. I'm gonna get up out of here, but y'all gotta understand that y'all can always expand out of y'all situations. I don't care if you a damn thief and a damn hitter and shooter and y'all got ops. You can expand find ways where you can try to make a business on the side. So while you shooting at ops, hopefully you make it, you don't pass away. Now you got something you can jump into out of that. You'll be the first representation and example of that. You see what I'm saying? You in the cooking, learn this, learn that. Are you familiar with this? See what it's like when you touch up this season. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying people have the ability. I'm not saying you got to go far out with it and do that for the rest of your life. I'm just saying try new things. That's an experience. You're expanding yourself. And so that'll always lead to some sense of expansion. Or you being able to ascend to some shit before. But hey, everybody on their own path. I'm not saying it's wrong if you're not trying to ascend. We're just talking about if you wanted to. But that being said, much love. See y'all later. Peace. This is a great video. Hope y'all replay it. Jump in. Rewatch the live. Rewatch the video. Learn up. You know what I'm saying? Peace.